afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So now that we've finished our tour around the parks, we still wanted to stick with the Disney parks thing because, you know, we want to be back in the parks right now. And we thought we'd do a couple of top 5 lists. So this week we're doing our top 5 Disney rides. Now this is not just Disney attractions. This is Disney rides, the actual rides. So no shows or anything like that.
Or shows.
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, shows. Shows or any of like the kind of the walking stuff that you can do, like the Swiss Family Treehouse.
Oh.
Like that doesn't count as a ride or a show.
Right.
But so anything that is a ride is fair game for this one. And then next week we'll do another one of the other stuff, like top 5 of the shows and the non-ride attractions. Yeah. And then we'll decide if we want to do more after that. So
yeah, we'll come up with something after that.
Yeah. And this is just strictly Walt Disney World in Florida because that's the park that we've been to.
Yeah.
So when and if we get to go to the other parks around the world, which we would love to, be great. Then we might do this type of thing again and do it across all parks. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. So, all right. Top 5 Walt Disney World rides. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You start, because I always start.
I think I started last time, but that's okay. So, my number 5, and it was really close, so I'm going to tell you my number 6 because it was really, really close. But my number 5 is Pirates of the Caribbean. It was really, really closely followed by Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I almost chose Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. But Pirates of the Caribbean. And I absolutely love that ride. And I didn't ride it the first time I was there in 2003. It wasn't a ride that my parents, I don't know if they cared to do it or if because we didn't know what we were doing when we were there in 2003. None of us had ever been there before.
I feel like that's a lot of people who go to Walt Disney World for the first time. They have no idea what they're doing.
Well, yeah, you get there and there's just so much. Like, you set foot in the Magic Kingdom and you're just immediately like, oh boy. Like, especially if you're the one that's supposed to have planned the vacation, like my dad or like, you know, me the first time we went. It's just, you get there and you're just like,
yeah.
And so some of these rides that you may not know about, that you don't hear as much about sometimes, like Pirates you do hear quite a bit about, but not as much as some of the others. And so it's one that sometimes falls by the wayside because you're focusing on Haunted Mansion. And then like Splash Mountain is usually a big one. Space Mountain is a big one.
The mountains.
But those like big name ones, usually, yeah, the mountains are a big one. But I really like Pirates. It's a nice, like we've talked about in a video before, it's really nice to get into the air conditioning because the queue is pretty much all inside.
Yeah.
And so you're in the air conditioning and like this little cave and it's nice and cool. And then the ride itself is just, it's fun. It's just a simple boat ride. There's not much that happens. There's one little slope, a really shallow slope that you go down, and then it's just kind of a fun little thing to just kind of sit and kind of look around.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my number 5.
Wasn't even on my list.
Yeah? Alright, what was your number 5?
Navi River Journey.
Navi River Journey. That one's also really pretty. I like that one.
Yeah, and I really don't know that it would have made my list if it wasn't for Aiden, but because we do it every time for Aiden, I think that's the big reason it's on my list. It's like that connection.
Yeah, and it's incredibly colorful.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we still need to watch for like the Disney Plus project or something, is we need to get you to watch Avatar because you haven't seen it. But the movie itself, once you get to the actual planet and like you get into the section with the Na'vi people, is really pretty and really colorful. And then the sun goes down and it gets dark, and then it's like in the ride, it gets really colorful, super duper colorful, and like it looks really, really cool.
Okay.
And so yeah, for young kids, even if they have no idea what's going on, it's really good because there's lots of colors everywhere and it's
sounds
just really,
and stuff.
Yeah, there's lots of sounds going on. It's really pretty.
Yeah,
I do really enjoy that one. So I think that was a good choice.
Okay, I make good choices sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, my number 4 is I didn't write these down in order. I wrote down 5 names and then numbered them, so I have to flip them.
I wrote down some and then I realized that there were other ones that I liked better, so then I renumbered them.
I've done that before. But anyway, my number 4 is Splash Mountain. And 17 years ago when I rode this in 03, I did not want to go on Splash Mountain. I was terrified of Splash Mountain. I was terrified of heights. I did not want to do it. And my mom made me. And then on our first trip, I went again. And I absolutely love that ride. It's so much fun.
Also one that did not make my list.
Yeah. So at least it's good to know that we aren't on exactly the same wavelength here. If we're on exactly the same wavelength, it would make for slightly more boring trips to Disney World because we'd be both wanting to do the same thing. We'd
over and over.
Never get any variety. But no, Splash Mountain's a lot of fun. Like it's a longer ride. For those of you who haven't ridden the ride, it's a longer ride, but it's totally worth it. It's so much fun. You go down that hill and just the adrenaline rush you get from that is just so great. So, what is your number 4?
Speaking of mountains.
Space Mountain?
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. That's what I thought. What is it with you in Space Mountain?
I don't know. But I like roller coasters. It's a roller coaster. Yeah. And it's in the dark, which I'm absolutely terrified of the dark. But the adrenaline, the thrill.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
More so than I am. I'm getting better.
Getting there.
Yep, I'm getting there. But
make an adrenaline junkie out of you.
Yeah, that one's one that you generally, at least now, you try to ride every time.
Oh yeah,
a couple of times.
At least once. Yeah, it is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice, possibly this next trip to be able to ride it with you.
Yeah, to have somebody there who can watch Aiden.
Yeah, so that we could ride it together. Because I really do think that you would be okay with it if we can ride together.
Yeah. Usually, that's usually my problem is I don't like doing things like that I've never done before by myself. So, yeah, let's see about that. My number 3 is Frozen Ever After.
Also one that was not on my list at all.
Yeah. We're doing good. Okay.
Man, but now like you're saying all these ones, I'm like, oh yeah, I really do like that.
yeah. That's one of the reasons I like doing these. Is because you find things out like that. But yes, Frozen Ever After. I love this ride. And I also for kind of the same reason that you like Not Your Ever Journey.
Is for
because Aiden loves, especially now when we go there, because he absolutely loves Frozen. Everybody is Anna. Elsa is Anna, Sven is Anna, Kristoff's Anna. Doesn't matter. But I'm just like, I'm excited for this time, him having that interaction with the characters, like knowing who the characters are and being more excited this time.
Yeah.
He was kind of excited last time, but it was more to do with the colors and stuff that were going on, the lights and stuff. So it's just a super fun ride. It's a nice, pretty gentle ride.
Yeah. There's a decent little drop.
There's a couple of drops. Well, there's one kind of slide, and then there's one slightly steeper drop. One goes back. The first one goes backwards, and the second one goes forwards.
Yeah.
And fun fact for those who don't know, this used to be a ride called Maelstrom. Back when I was there in 2003, this was a ride called Maelstrom, and it was all about the
trolls.
It was a Norwegian culture ride.
Yeah.
It talked about the Norwegian culture, and one of the things was the trolls. And it was dark in there the whole way through, and the trolls freaked me out, and the ride went backwards, and down a hill backwards, and then down another hill, and I was just not okay with it. But, yeah, Frozen, I love Frozen.
Yes.
Especially because you can actually see what's going on. It's not just pitch black compared to Maelstrom.
I think it's just a cute ride, though.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely adorable.
They did a good job on it.
Yeah, and the queue's really fun too. It's really cute.
Yeah,
because if you wait in the actual line, I don't remember if you see it in the fast pass line. But if you wait in the regular queue, the standby queue, there's the door where you see Oaken.
Yep.
It's the door of the sauna.
Yeah, you can't see that from the fast pass line.
I didn't think
because the regular queue goes in through the sauna.
Yeah, and it winds around into Oaken's shop, and then his door to the sauna. Yeah.
Yeah, but where the fast pass line passes that by.
Yeah, it bypasses the whole thing.
Yep.
So yeah. If you get the chance and you're willing to wait in a little bit of a line, because it can get a little long sometimes.
It can get very long. But first thing when the park opens, everybody is...
Drop it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, everybody's mulling around Future World, because World Showcase hasn't opened.
There's a lot of them that haven't realized that Frozen Ever After, the Norway Pavilion, is open at that point.
Yeah, even when the rest of World Showcase hasn't opened, Norway is open.
Yeah.
So you can get in there and get easily a 15-20 minute wait for Frozen Ever After.
If not a walk on, because I think one of the times we did it, we just walked right on pretty much.
Yeah, we walked the queue.
Walked the queue and then got up there and we just waited for them to send the next boat off and then
Right, and that's just because everybody goes up to like Soarin' and stuff like that.
Yeah, the stuff like that's open.
Yeah.
Because they don't think about it. But
now we've given away our secret.
That's okay, I can cut it out. Nah. What is your number 3?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
Okay. That one is on my list.
I figured it would be on your list. Yeah. I think we talk a lot about Haunted Mansion just because it is one of our favorites between the both of us. So, yeah, it's just a good.
What is it that you like about Haunted Mansion?
I like the spooky stuff.
Yeah, you do like the spooky stuff. She likes like haunted houses, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun, and granted, I think it needs a little updating, a little cleaning, but it's just a timeless ride too.
Yeah, it really is.
So, it's not affected by time in the sense of like it's not going to become outdated.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have that time factor to it.
Right.
If that makes any sense. It's like, like Carousel of Progress is like super outdated.
Yes.
Or Spaceship Earth, super outdated.
Which is why they're redoing it, yeah.
Because it has that timed factor to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Haunted Mansion doesn't, because it's about a figural mansion. It's not, based on any sort of reality.
Right. Okay. My number 2 is Slinky Dog Dash.
Not on my list.
I'm kind of surprised about that because Slinky Dog Dash is a super fun roller coaster. I absolutely love Slinky Dog Dash.
I think it's too short.
I mean, I would agree with that. It's longer than Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
But yes, I do think I wish it would be longer, but not because it's a super short coaster, because it's not a super short coaster. But just because it's so much fun that you want it to last longer. That's what it is for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Because it's the first, I think it's the first launch coaster at Disney. No, it's the second launch coaster at Disney World. Because I think the Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith, presented by Aerosmith or whatever, I think that's a launch coaster. I'd have to look into that, but I'm pretty sure that one's also a launch coaster.
Maybe.
So, and I think Tron is going to be a launch coaster.
Yes, it will be a launch coaster.
Which, that one might possibly break its way into my top 5 when that opens. We'll have to see. So I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, Slinky Dog is just super fun. It's adorable. Like, the whole thing is adorable. The queue is great walking up to it.
Yeah, it is.
Did you get to walk the...
No, I've never done the actual queue. I've always done Fast Pass for...
Yeah, because we did, like, the rider switch.
Yes, so I've always done Fast Pass for Slinky. I've never actually gone through a queue.
Yeah. We'll have to send you... This next trip in December, we'll have to send you first and let you walk through the regular queue. Because there's some adorable stuff in there. There's, like, instructions on how the coaster is put together, like, out of a toy box. It's talking about it being... Because it's the little... I don't remember what they're called, but the little wooden... No, it's not Connects.
No,
it's
Connects are plastic.
Yeah, but it's similar to those. But it's, the little wooden block that has the post that you can put the post in. And it's, like, a set of those.
Right.
That, like, it's the instructions from that. It's really adorable. So Slinky Dog Dash, like, if any of you have never ridden Slinky Dog Dash and you've been to Disney World since it opened, shame on you, for one. Because that is a super fun ride.
It's hard to get fast passes for, though. That's, I think, why a lot of people haven't.
It's getting better now, but it is still really hard to get fast passes.
Yeah, your best bet is to rope drop it.
Yes.
Or extra magic hours.
Yeah, take advantage of extra magic hours. Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Because it is still very difficult to get fast passes for, so...
And now, I would say that one is worth a longer wait. If you have to.
I wouldn't wait more than 30 minutes.
Well, you also just don't like waiting in line.
I really don't like waiting in line. If I could get a fast pass or rope drop it, why would I wait in line?
But see, for me, like, I would be willing to wait in like a 45-minute, an hour long line for Slinky Dog, because that one is super fun, and let you go off and ride whatchamacallit, Toy Story Mania.
Mania.
What is your number 2?
Figment.
Figment. Journey into Imagination with Figment.
Yeah.
Okay. I also enjoy that one. That one didn't make my list, but that one is very enjoyable. I also really like that one.
I think it's more for a love of Figment, the character, than the ride itself, because
I mean, it's also just a fun, cute little ride.
it's cute. I think it's a little, it's not, outdated isn't the word. It's just not, because this is not the first version of this ride.
Right.
I wonder if they had done this like refurbishment on it to save the ride, basically.
Could be.
And then they rushed through the refurbishment and didn't really save the ride.
Yeah.
It does feel kind of rushed and like kind of almost slapped together, because I feel like they could have.
Yeah.
There's parts of it I feel like they could have done better. Like the smell aspect of it, they did fine on. I don't like the smell of skunk, but it's not the worst part of the ride. But then there's like the eye part where it's just like a projection of an eye chart.
Yeah, and nothing happens with it.
You know, and that seems kind of.
Yeah.
So I think it's like little things like that. But Figment is the most adorable character ever. He's just so cute.
You love your Figment.
And yeah. So.
Okay. All right. My number 1, Janet already knows, and you probably do too, because I said it earlier. Haunted Mansion. I don't know why I needed to look at that.
Me either.
My number 1 is Haunted Mansion. I absolutely love Haunted Mansion. I love the song. I just love the ride itself. I love the Doom buggies. I also love the fact they're called Doom buggies. And, I don't know, there's just something about that ride that I just really like that ride. Especially when they put the thing that takes your picture.
Yeah, now that they have
it has like the ghost over top of you. It's just like, I don't know, it makes me so happy. Riding that ride like 3 or 4 times per trip makes me really happy. Although we'll probably ride it more than that this next trip because we'll be there for 11 days. So we'll probably end up riding that a lot.
Yeah, we'll probably be on it a lot.
Because that's one of the things, like if we get to the park for, during extra magic hours or like ride at Rope Drop, that's one of the things we do is we run back, ride Haunted Mansion real quick, and then go get breakfast. Or the other way around, because sometimes at that point, then it
just depends on what the crowds look like when we get through there.
Yeah, that's generally we'll get there to the park the first thing, and we'll immediately look and go, hey, Haunted Mansion's only a 15-minute wait, and we'll run back there.
Or depending on the wait, we go back to Splash and Thunder.
Yeah.
Just depends on where we're at.
Right.
So.
And kind of what our goals are for that day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just, I absolutely love that ride. I love that ride. But what is your number 1?
Everest. Expedition Everest. I've talked a lot about it, so I don't really think it needs a whole lot of explaining, but
yeah.
I think it's more of a favorite because it is a roller coaster, and it's a really good roller coaster. Mm-hmm. But just the technology behind it and the Imagineering behind it really is what made me fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of the things that's most fascinating for us. We really like the Imagineering and stuff, all the stuff that went into the rides.
Yeah.
We like seeing how the ride, like a lot of people think that seeing like Everest with all the lights on in the caves and stuff, we're seeing Haunted Mansion
or Space Mountain
like with the lights on, they're like, oh, it ruins the magic. And for us, that just, it lends to the magic. Like seeing the sheer amount of work that has to go into something like that, to have made that work, like the ballroom scene in Haunted Mansion, how they get those projections to go around. We've watched some videos on that, and the Imagineering story talks about it,
and I still can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's still one of those things. It's like, but how does that work?
Yeah, like I've seen them explain it away and everything like that, and then every time I write it, I'm like, oh man, is that really what's going on there?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we like about the rides at Disney World is there's so much Imagineering that goes into them.
It's not just a steel track with a card on top of it.
Yeah,
there's so much into the story, and
that's one of the reasons that they started calling it Imagineering, because it's imaginative engineering.
Yes,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You have to use your imagination to create a story for these rides. Regardless of whether it's a roller coaster like a Slinky Dog coaster that like you wouldn't think you'd be able to make a real story out of a roller coaster, but Slinky
there
Dog,
is.
Everest, they tell a story. Big Thunder tells a story.
The
And that's one of the things
Incredicoaster,
that's the most fun for us. Yep, the Incredicoaster.
which is, we haven't been on the Incredicoaster,
Because
but
we haven't been to California, but
but I've watched a lot of videos of it, and even though it's just a new skin on an old coaster, it still tells a story.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, those are our top 5 Disney rides, or Walt Disney World rides, rather.
you gotta specify that.
Yeah, you have to specify that because there's some rides that would not be at other parks.
True.
Or are really different at other parks.
Yeah,
Which is one of the reasons that I really want to be able to get to some of these other parks and compare them.
Yeah, because Haunted Mansion is very different at California Adventure. Like, the ride itself, I think, is very similar, but, like, the outside is very different.
Yes. And then it's
And
completely different in Tokyo where they have Phantom Manor.
Yeah.
And then in China, in Shanghai is... I don't remember if Hong Kong is the same, but Shanghai, I believe, is Mystic Manor.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our top 5 favorite rides at Walt Disney World. So next week we will do our top 5 non-ride attractions at Walt Disney World, and then we'll see where we get to from there. So, thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. And as always, don't forget
To thank the Venetians.